right now. We're going to give it a second. It might take a little bit for it to catch up, but we're seeing. Welcome to Tea and Tarot Tuesdays. My name is Foxy Divine, and we're here to have a good time. I'm just checking to see if it's gone live yet. Oh, there we go. Yay! It did go live. All right, we are ready. We're set. Super excited for this. I don't think you can hear my audio though. No, they can't hear. I don't think. If you guys can hear me, let me know.
Can you hear yourself?
I cannot hear myself in this. Oh, wait. It's very echoey though. There's a big echo. Sorry about that, you guys. It sounds, the whole thing echoes the whole time.
Like the other day?
Yes. So you probably need to turn the YouTube off.
No, just exit out of all this.
Yes.
You're not going to be able to see the chat, but you'll see it on
Okay. I think we figured it out now. Sorry, you guys. The reason that it went before and the reason it was echoey is because it was hooked up before to the other thing. So I'm so sorry about that, you guys. I thought we figured it out. We're about to see again. Sometimes it wants to work, sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, let's see what happens next. If you guys can bear with me and probably give me like 1 more minute, we're just catching up to the lag. I'm just checking in here. Okay, we're about to figure out. Sorry about that. Give me like 15 seconds. Okay. No, it's still echoing.
Yeah, because there's nothing open.
What'd you say?
There's nothing open on the computer for it to deal with.
Can you click that 75?
Oh. It's on 75. Do you want me to put it on here?
Yeah.
It's on 150 now.
Yeah. Alright. Sorry about that, you guys. Normally we are doing good. Still echoes. Mike. Okay. Sorry about that. If you have it in the background, it's annoying. I totally get it. I thought that we figured it out this time.
Video capture device. And then there's one that says audio input capture.
I only have one on then.
So which one do you think?
Which one is there?
Video capture device.
Oh, turn that off.
So let's see if that.
I think we figured it out.
We'll talk so we can.
Yeah, sorry, we're trying to catch up to it. I know. So with this new system, it's because of this overlay that we have, it causes it to like have extra and go in twice. But I think he just turned off the second mic that is causing the problem. So if you give me just like, we're about to figure it out right now. Oh, maybe.
She says yay.
Okay, let's see. Maybe. I think we're there.
So much.
We did!
There we go.
Oh, we did it. Okay, cool. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm so excited, you guys. Now we know for the future exactly the problem because of this because of the overlay that we have, it doesn't allow us to like pick the different sounds, so you have to go like deep in the interface to find out which it's projecting twice. So now we know the problem, it will never echo again. Woo! So a little like sound thing is that the mic was trying to run through our main mic because we have a studio mic in here, and then it was also picking up from the camera at the same time, but we just shut one of them off, so we're good. So yeah, thank you for bearing with me, you guys. Much better, much better. Everyone's saying much better. Awesome. I'm super pumped for today. Woo! Thank you for bearing with me. I promise you guys, you're gonna love, love, love the message today, and that is about the moon. And the moon card. Let me digress. We're not specifically talking about the moon itself, even though it kind of mixes in with it. We're talking about the moon card and the relation to the tarot and how you can use those lessons and make them more applicable in your life. And someone just says, gotta love technology. Yep, I also love my loving boyfriend who took care of that whole thing, because I wouldn't be able to have done it from here because I'm just in front of the camera talking. He's the big behind the scenes guy and the light and everything. So yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you, amazing boyfriend. Today, we're gonna be talking about the moon. So if anyone wants to take a second, share this with your friends. Maybe send them a link on Facebook if you think someone will like it. Or take a second and subscribe to see all this witchy content. So let's take a second to breathe. We got over the technology issue. We got over the echo. Let's start by doing a breathing exercise together. All right, I'm gonna light some sage, and this is intentional for you if you're still here with me. So I'm gonna send some your way. Send some my way, the cards. So let's take a moment to breathe. If there's any issues that you have, just for this moment, just for this live, none of your issues exist. And we're just going to enter into a learning state of mind, feeling relaxed and ready to take in some wisdom. Okay, let's close our eyes. I'll close mine too. And let's take 3 slow breaths together, okay? Take a deep breath in. And then out. Deep breath in. And then out. One more deep breath in. And let it all out. Okay, let's begin. Anyone that's new here, welcome to Tea and Tarot Tuesdays. I'm Foxy Divine. We do different tarot lessons every week, so you can learn like how you can apply tarot to your life. It's kind of also a tarot lesson for anyone that wants to learn about tarot cards. You don't have to do tarot cards to watch this, but it does help because I give you some techniques that you can apply for yourself in your reading. I also like to teach the ways of tarot as well, because just as someone would have like a holy book or something, some people like to use tarot as like a navigation system through your conscious and subconscious mind. So that's why we love to do these. Also, this is a community, so if you feel like sharing this, like talking in the comments, I also created Tea and Tarot Tuesdays. For people that don't have a spiritual community, they can kind of interact with each other. So if anyone wants to write in the comments, when I used to be on Facebook, I would have like a whole bunch of people commenting back and forth, and let's bring that to YouTube. So if you guys feel like saying what you feel about it and anything like that, feel free to share with the class, as it were. Oh yeah, I forgot, Riverite, it's Janine. Hey. I just seen that comments. So glad you're back here. I should remember that too, especially because kayaking. So let's get into the moon card and what the moon card means. So when you look at, there's like this trifecta, well actually I'd say quintet, 4. So there is the sun, the moon, the star, and the world. And those are kind of like all astrological influences in the tarot, and each of them have to do about like astrology, can be about different different symbolism in the brain, in the spirit, and how you reach towards that completion. And that's why the world, if you look in the tarot and the major arcana, there is the world card, and the world card means like the completion of something, ending the chapter. It's not as deathy, like the death energy, where it's like the death card, it's like, it is ending a phase, but it's more of just like a release, when the world is more of like the completion of the project. So if you were like drawing a picture and it took you a long time and you get the world card, it means like you completing the picture, as opposed to like the death card would mean like you're in a toxic job or relationship and you end that. So you're not like completing it. So that's like the difference. Some people get confused on the energy of the death card as well as the world card. But back to the moon card today. So the moon card can talk about like the subconscious and the unconscious mind and how we navigate that. It's one of the main cards, I would say, that would represent like the shadow self. So the moon card would be the shadow. Think about like the sun and how, you know, the moon is like the shadow self of the sun. And it's that energy of you finding out that shadow self in order to attain enlightenment, or like they say, the Godhead energy. And by Godhead, it can mean like your ascension process, how you reach it doesn't necessarily mean like you as a god. It means like the enlightenment. That's a lot of things you'll hear in different holy scripts or stuff like that. So when you go through your shadow work, and you will hear me talk about shadow work like almost every time. I think it's quintessential in our growth. I love it because when you start dealing with that shadow self, and that's a lot of that moon energy, is dealing with the shadow self. And after you find your shadow self, then you can reach enlightenment. And that's kind of like what the sun is. And that's why it's really important for you when you're studying tarot. Don't approach, and everyone, you know, their connection to the divine is their own connection to the divine. But don't see tarot just as like a divination tool. Because when I teach like tarot workshops, I normally at the very end, I'm like, and now here's some divination. Like, sure, divination is a part of it, but tarot essentially it's very Freud in nature. It's very Jung, like Carl Jung. Freud. It's very Carl Jung. It's very psychological. So even when you approach tarot as a psychological tool, like even if you're an atheist and you're approaching tarot as a psychological building tool, it can help you to reach that equilibrium in your mentality, or even physicality and like your physical location, or even like you physically. And it can be used as like a guidepost for that. And when you start seeing the tarot as like a story, okay? So see it as like the Fool all the way up to the World. That is the stories of the major arcana. And don't try to see them as like individual, like yes, they are individual pieces, but where the real magic happens is when it's like looking at a puzzle piece and you put down like one puzzle piece, you're like, yes, that is a pretty puzzle piece. There's a tree there. And then I don't know, I said tree, but then when you like put it all together, you see it's not just a tree, you see it's the ocean, and you see it's a volcano, you see it's a mountain, and you see it's the world, in essence, together. And it's going on that journey from the Fool to the World. So in that, and when you start seeing it like that, and like one little lesson that you can do is you can lay down all the cards from the Fool to the World and kind of see the picture, and it evolves with you, and the meanings become deeper and deeper. And that's why I always say tarot is a lifelong lesson. So yeah, little cool tip for you. So let's get into more of like what the moon means. Again, if you guys are new here, make sure that you subscribe. Maybe like the video, anything like that, or share with a friend. Really helps me out and helps more people out too. So the moon card is dealing with the subconscious and the unconscious mind. And that means things that we do without thinking about it. So like one example could be you breathing, you blinking. You know, that's like in the subconscious, unconscious mind. And it's us doing that without even thinking about it. When you deal with your shadow self, you are really thinking about the things that you are reacting to without even knowing you're reacting to it. Because that's how the true healing happens. Is that everyone can be like, okay, I know I was in X abusive relationship and then it made me act like this, so I learned to heal. Yes, that is good. That is conscious healing. When you start delving deep into the shadow self, we're talking like what the fuck happened to you when you were 4 and what happened to you when you're 10 and when you're a teenager. It can happen later on because trauma can develop at any age, but that's where like a lot of it resides. And it's like, it's this code. Think of it like a code. And it's where it is stored, that is put into as you were a child or when you were impressionable, and it's these mentalities that are put into fear in your spirit. The chakra affected, and again, I can go on forever about chakras, about which one, the shadow self, and deeper in that. But in essence, it starts off in the solar plexus chakra, and that's where your ideas are stored. That's where the sense of ego is. So when you want to start healing with the shadow self, i.e. the moon card, because that's the lesson that the moon card teaches, is dealing with the subconscious, dealing with the unconscious, dealing with the shadow self. It's when you can start to see why you do these little, like, these micro trimmers, and being able to think about why you do this. And it could be why you get angry when someone dresses too well. Why you get angry when someone dresses not well enough. Why you are attached to thinking you'll be abandoned, or money, or anything like that. That it can be like, why do we have this? And then you go back in your head and you go through your shadow self and you start to realize, oh, okay, that's why I'm attached to this. It could be, for like an example, someone could have an attachment like their mom taught them that if you get, this is just, I'm just like on the spot, just like kind of like, think about trauma. Your mom or parent or whatever taught you that if you get dirty, you're gonna get a disease, like you're on your hands, and you need to wash your hands, or you're gonna get a disease, or you're gonna get something. And so then it makes them so they just wash their hands consistently. And I'm not talking like OCD, because OCD can be like it's naturally within you, but also it can be a developed habit. And that's another loophole of nature versus nurture. But I'm talking a nurtured habit that happened, that was imprinted in you. So then it reflects, and you don't even think, this is why my parent taught me I have to always wash my hands. And then you wash your hands raw, because you're attached to, like, you're always going to get this, like, this disease or this evil thing. So just like one thing of many. Again, this is arbitrary and random, but it comes in what these different ideas and what our shadow self is. And the moon card is teaching you, when it comes out in a reading, someone's like, what's keeping me from love, from success, from whatever, and the moon card comes up, it can mean like, yo, you need to do some shadow work. I want to read some comments right quick. Let's see here. I'd like to know why people get mad at me when I answer a question lately and they go, well, I'm just asking. I always want to say, well, I'm just answering. So, that right there, there's a few things that could mean. It could mean like, maybe how are you answering? Or is it, did they actually ask, or was it arbitrary? Or is it just different people around you who are negative? I don't know the situation, so there is different levels of this. It could be if someone is coming at you a certain way, things to like think about. And I'm not like victim blame. I'm not like, they're the victim. I'm a Libra, so like it's my job to kind of give examples. One thing, are they actually asking you? Or are they just saying it out loud? Two, is it like a constant, like most people thing around you, or is it just like a select few people? Is it possibly how you're answering? Are you answering more cold? Are you answering normal? Are you being snippy? Are you just saying it with compassion? And that's why I kind of got this tattoo right here of the heart, and it's the goddess Azuli, and it means it's the goddess not just of love, but of compassion. And I always like to say, speak your truth with compassion. Another thing is that, and I'm not saying you're guilty of this, I'm sharing with you something I'm guilty of. Just as someone has resting bitch face or resting witch face, I have resting witch voice, or resting bitch voice. And it sounds like I'm being a bitch, but I'm not. It just is like, sometimes I come across like that, and I'm not trying to be. So I had to kind of learn to put a bit more pep in my step and try to speak it more compassionately, maybe like change my tone. So that's another thing. There's like, there's a bunch of things, but that could be about your shadow self, is that if you start to notice that it's happening in a common denominator and not just a select few individuals, I would really seek out that is your shadow self. One of them, because like we have many faces of our shadow, and maybe that is something that you need to delve into. Maybe it's a perception, maybe it's how you're coming across, maybe it's how you're seeing it. There's, like I said, I could go over like 20 examples. I'm not saying it's your fault or their fault. I'm just like, maybe that's a meditation for you this week, is to really look in and see, is there a shadow that's in there? And we'll be finding shadows forever, pretty much. Like, the shadow self isn't just like, I healed my shadow self one day and I found out that I have trauma with my mom or dad. I'm healed. It's, oh, that's another shadow that I have with them, or a relative, or a friend, or an ex-lover. It's a constant working through it. I feel I'm being congenial until they question answer Portio. Oh, portion. I feel like I'm being congenial until they the question, the answer portion. Like during like the interaction, maybe it's, maybe how you answered it, I guess. Or is it something that's happening like with multiple people? And that's one thing I'd really work on. So another thing that the moon card can represent is cycles as well. And are you going through cycles? So think as the moon goes from like the new moon to the full moon, it went through a cycle. And it could mean about a cycle that you're going through. Maybe you're on a constant cycle just as the moon. And it depends again on the surrounding cards that come in the reading. And it's common saying that it's insanity is repeating something over and over again and expecting different results. So this could be an evaluation of, what is cyclical in your life, or maybe something that needs to be cyclical. Again, tarot is interesting because it depends on surrounding cards and why we draw these cards. Just kind of like look within and see where that lesson can be applicable in our life. And again, that's the moon card could be like the quintessence of the shadow self, like if you really want to get into it. And where it again tells the story is that after the shadow self, and that's why there's water on the card a lot of times, after the shadow self comes the enlightenment of the sun, and knowing that when you work through the shadow, you're able to then manifest in the mundane. Because that is essentially how we reach Godhead or enlightenment, is you start to manifest miracles or manifest what you're trying to in a mundane setting. And it's working through the inner spiritual to then manifest on the physical mundane world, which then helps you to attain enlightenment or your Godhead. And that's what the lesson of the moon card means, and what it can mean in, and this is getting to like some deep level shit, but and that's like what it can mean in a reading. Now, when I'm doing a tarot reading, just like a cool little reading tip for you guys, each card I could probably write like a book on. Each one, all 78 of them, because it's just deep and deep. All this information floods through my head, and it helps give me the reading. When you guys are doing a reading, you don't have to like, bleh, you don't have to verbal diarrhea all over these people, and just be like, well, listen, this and this and this and this and this. See what the lesson applies to you, and don't spend 20 minutes on a card, even though you could. just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's one of the biggest life lessons I learned. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And it's being able to know when the right moment for things are. So that is like some other things. I want to hear what your comments are and what you feel about the moon and how the moon showed up for you in a reading, or maybe what's a time that you had to be cyclical. And that's the cool thing about tarot, is it's sometimes just attached to that energy and look at it and see, where does it apply to my life. Oh, another cool tarot moon tip. Anytime that the moon card comes up, it could mean like something during the moon. Like it could be like a time period that could be like during the full moon, you might get your subconscious response to say the new moon, but during the full moon, XYZ could happen potentially. And again, it's where your energy works and what you're feeling. It could mean a ritual on the full moon, attaching to full moon magic, anything, to find that lunation. Reading comments. No, I like the cycle aspect of the moon. Yeah, and that's the cool thing about tarot, is it's finding your own language, your own tarot language, because tarot isn't necessarily, like I said, this cut dry thing. It's very malleable in what your language with the divine is. So when you pull that card out, it could mean specifically cycles for you, but not shadow work. It can mean both. It can mean just shadow. It's your connection and shadow work. Oh, for sure. It's like some people get stuck in these cycles, either relationships or jobs or so many things, and it's where do you get stuck in this cycle? And that's kind of like what the moon card can really mean, is where have you gone cyclically? What is some shadow work that you need to do? How can you achieve Godhead, or this higher sense of enlightenment? I am back. Hi, Back. I didn't know your name was Back. That's a cool name. It's it Back with like 15 A's. Back. I think of like a sheep coming back, be like, hey guys, I'm back. Don't you bleat at me, sir. But yeah, that's kind of like the meditation that came to me today. Is about the shadow self. If you guys want to ever share, I'm on my Odin Love the Red. Oh, my Odin Love the Red. Yeah, right? Isn't that great? Today I thought I'd go with a red theme. Everything is going to get witchier and witchier, you guys, so make sure you keep on with these lives. And now the sound will be fixed next time. Now I actually know, not just guess no. It's going to get witchier and witchier every time. Like I said, we got this and that. Sooner the cobwebs are coming in. I'm super pumped about... I have a potion class that I'm going to be launching on my YouTube soon, talking about Mabon. Cool little thing is Mabon, or the equinox, is equivalent to like the pagan Thanksgiving. Yes, we have ours late September, not November. But it's like the first harvest, really. Second harvest, where it's talking about us getting ready to hunker down until the final harvest in Samhain in October. So that's why I'm slowly going to start like getting my pumpkins, and I have a potion class coming up. I just bought a, those cooking things that are like portable, you can plug them in, so I can actually like have a cool area and make a potions class. I'll make cocktails and mocktails. So I'll have a booze version and a non-booze version. Let's see here. I have to ask, what's the name below your screen about? Oh, that's the latest subscriber. So the name that you see right there, that you see right there is the newest subscriber. Every time someone subscribes, and we're still working this out, because the technology is super hard to figure out with this. But every time someone subscribes, the name changes right there, I believe. The name is supposed to change right there, and then a little fox is supposed to be like, yay! So if anyone wants to subscribe, we might see it change. And then the dollar thing right there is because I'm trying to learn to hook up my PayPal. So if like I'm doing like a reading, someone wants to tip me, they're like, hey, today's lesson was cool, here's $2. I put that right there, but again, we're trying to figure out that. This is all brand new to me. And we're trying to like get better and better with our technology. and like our sound and our lighting. So this is like slow process, but we're getting there. Thanks you guys for being with me. Again, let's review the moon. But before we review the moon, the moon, make sure that you guys share this with a friend. I'm not on Facebook right now. I don't know why my account got disabled. No reason why. It just literally just like your account's disabled, and Facebook doesn't have anyone really working there. So if you guys want to share this with a friend personally and be like, yo, check this guy out, that'd help out a lot. And I'm gonna be doing these all the time. And plus, YouTube's less like restricty and stuff too. So like if I'm playing like music and stuff or doing anything like that, they're not gonna be like, what? You're being taken down. It is what it is. And they just let me do it. So yeah, I kind of like the liberty here. Also, if you guys want to check out my Instagram, make sure you go to Foxy Divine. I do, anyone that like has my Instagram, let me know in the comments. I always do really funny stories. So check out my story life. I find it's funny. And you see a lot of cats in my cooking. So if you guys want to go on my Instagram and see like the personal intricacies of my life, it's super funny and action-packed. So yeah, go check out my Instagram under Foxy Divine. Okay, so let's review about the moon card. So if you have a tarot deck, homework assignment, or if you do any kind of oracle or you do any kind of like runes or anything like that, find a card that would represent, sorry, cat stuff. Find a card that represents the moon, the lunar energies, and that. Oh, also, additional thing, the moon card, depending on the culture, but because tarot, again, can be cultural. I talk about that in my tarot class as well. The moon card typically could be feminine energy as opposed to like the sun card, which could be masculine energy. That doesn't mean like man, woman. That means like yin, yang, masculine, feminine. There's more esoterica digged in there. Not like the whole gender thing, but more of like energetic, push-pull kind of energy. But some believe that like the moon is, the lunar energy is feminine and the solar energy is masculine, but in other cultures, it could be reversed. It's what the tarot lesson says to you and how it applies to your connection to the divine. Sorry, I gotta get a sip of some coffee. I swear I'm not like Archer. Have you guys ever seen Archer before? I fucking love Archer. Where he's like, one moment. I love it. And just finishes the whole drink down. Fucking love Archer. He's my spirit animal. So yeah, certain cultures say one thing. Also, cool little tarot lesson. And I teach this in my workshop. And if you guys ever see my workshop in the future, I go deep into esoterica of tarot and teach you how to do this professionally. So make sure to be on the lookout, and you see that on my Instagram when I'm going to be launching my class on how to read tarot cards yourself. And I'll be doing that soon, probably in the next like month. So, cool thing about tarot and how to apply it. We'll bring like some moon energy in there. So like I said, moon energy can be in certain cultures feminine and certain cultures actually masculine. Cool, right? So the same thing with like the dog is that if you think culturally like the dog could be loyalty to you, but if you are bit as a child, and this isn't cultural, this is more like experience, if a dog bit you when you were 3 and it traumatized you to where like when you think dog or see dog, you don't think loyalty, you think it like freaking out and biting you. So that's like an interesting little thing, is it depends like where you see it. And same thing with like the moon card. Again, if you see it being more masculine, you can see it masculine, you see more feminine, but typically in a tarot archetype, it does mean feminine energy. So that's one thing it could talk about. Other thing the tarot could talk about, it could talk about women's menstruation. Not to be like, oh, menstruation, like whatever. it's that, and not just like menstruation itself, but like going through the cycle and like your lunar part and how it could apply to you. Just more things, because that's 28 days and how long you use your cycle. So yeah, just little interesting thing there. And like little deeper too is like you know, the menstruation part specifically, and like the magic of it, and there's a bunch there that I encourage you to kind of look up yourself. Again, I'm just like touching on like the icing level of tarot. It goes like super deep in how it could apply to your craft or your own understanding. So yeah, other things represents, again, cycle we talked about, how it could be like what things in your life are more cyclical in nature. Where do you need to end a cycle? Where do you need to start a habit? It could mean, again, it's what goes on in the reading. It can mean dealing with the shadow self, because in order to reach the sun, which is your enlightenment, you need to be able to go through the shadow self. And in order to heal the shadow, then you can start to manifest in the mundane. And by manifest in the mundane, it means like you trying to manifest not just, it could be money, it could be love, it could be XYZ, a guitar, I don't know, something. Like as you start to notice these commonalities in your manifestation in the mundane, then you reach that Godhead and that ascension. And that's kind of like what the shadow self can say. It's like, the sun card means like joy, jubilation. It could mean childbirth. It could mean like reaching the high point in life and enlightenment. The sun is the rays of enlightenment. But in order to reach that manifesting energy of the sun's like a wicked positive card. In order for you to get that energy, you need to go through the moon, which is your shadow self, which then helps you to manifest, which then helps you in your enlightenment. And then you can get off the cycle of reincarnation. So like that's kind of the little like things about the moon card. What are some comments that you guys think? How do you feel about the moon? How does the moon apply to your life? What are some lessons? Like, do you feel like you're cyclical in nature? And seeing like what you guys think. Feel free to write it in the comments. Again, if you guys are new here, I do have my Tea and Tarot Tuesdays every single Tuesday. So make sure you click that subscribe button and keep up with all this. And then there's a bell notification. If you click the bell notification, then you will be able to keep up with it, and it'll like send you a thing that was like, yo, Foxy Divine's live right now. Because sometimes I go late, 8, sometimes 8:30, only because I do readings like full time, and so sometimes someone will be like 15 minutes late in a reading, like showing up. Doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes live's live, and it pushes me back more. So if you guys want to keep up, go on the bell notification. Speaking of readings, if you guys want to get a reading from me, I do 4K footage readings, so it's like you watch me even on your phone or Zoom or something like that, and we do a reading, or I do phone, or I even do email. And email's like, it's the easier method for people sometimes, just because they might be on the go, but it's all on what you want. So if you want a reading from me, send me a message, look me up on Instagram, and send me a DM if you want to work on a reading. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I love the moon card. Homework assignment for you guys. See how the moon card applies to you. Maybe find another level of your shadow. We'll always be finding shadows, girl. Like, we are going to be finding shadows like until the day you die. It's just, they're always there. And it's more of an acceptance of it. And the sooner that you go through your shadow, the sooner you're able to manifest, and the more you're able to manifest in the mundane, the quicker you reach enlightenment. It's not a race, it's a journey, but it helps you, and it makes life go more easier. Also, make sure that you guys share with a friend. Sharing is caring. I haven't said that in a long time. Sharing is caring. Just even send like a message. Tell them like, yo, sorry about the first 10 minutes I've been talking. You got through the echo. It's good past there. And also, free full moon readings. I'm doing free readings every full moon, so make sure that you click that subscribe button and keep up with all this witchy content. Lastly, I have potions class coming up. I'm super excited for my potions class. I got like a cool little plug-in burner. I'm gonna be teaching you how to make mocktails and cocktails. So even if you don't drink, you can still like partake in the fun and keep up with all this. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys for joining me. If you want to message me or you have questions, look me up on Instagram under Foxy Divine. Follow and send me a DM. All right, pick up your wands, stir your cauldrons, hop on your broomsticks, and have a magical day.
Thank you.